It's time to do more previews. We're going to dive into the AFC next. All that coming up in just a minute. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports, where we take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. And in this video, this is all part of our NFL preview. Let's dive right in, shall we? NFL preview. We've got the AFC next. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell us what you think. If it's bad, it's good, whatevs. We appreciate all comments because it's sports. Nobody's ever 100%. No one bats 1,000, and we love that aspect of it. Also, if you're listening while you're there, rate, review, follow on Spotify, rate, review on Apple Podcasts, and give us 5 stars because you know that we deserve it. If we don't, just give us 5 anyway.
Give it.
AFC. So I mentioned last segment the 5 factors that I always do when it comes to rating these teams. And I want to open it up on the AFC side this way. I look at coach first, quarterback, additions, subtractions, and then the finish last year. Quarterback is second behind coach for a reason, because some teams can win without actually having a quarterback. We've seen the Rams do that before. So, and the Bears, actually. So we're used to teams winning things without legitimate quarterbacks. I mean, there's somebody physically there, but are they really a quarterback? So let's jump right into the AFC. I'm going to start us off.
Let's go.
AFC North. I love to do it in the news. So we're going to start with the news. North. I have the Baltimore Ravens winning it. This is why. Additional pieces on defense. The Ravens every year with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, they're 30-8. They have not had a losing season with him. They're consistent on everything they do. The way their offense is ran, you're not going to stop it. The question is can the defense do their part as well? So for me, during the regular season, the Ravens are always going to be the top. So I got the Ravens winning the North. Who you got?
I'm going to take the Browns to win the AFC North. I mean, top to bottom, I think that this may, outside of Kansas City, be the physically like the best roster in the AFC. On defense, part of what they've been needing on defense is a defense that can match the physicality that the Steelers and the Ravens have played with for all these years. So I think getting Jadeveon Clowney, getting John Johnson, really good safety out of the Rams, and one of the steals of the draft, they call him JOK. I think it's Jeremiah. I'm not even going to butcher his last name, but he's one of those who I think he got a little hurt, a little nicked up. It was something like that caused his draft stock to fall. So he's one of those kind of guys, kind of like Jalen Smith in a sense. So they get him on that defense in addition to what they already had. You know, Myles Garrett, probably the best defensive end in football. Then I think that Baker, another year under Kevin Stefanski, that power running attack, receivers who can catch the ball, and a good collection of tight ends, and even adding more to the offensive line. They've got everything they need. I don't take the Steelers as serious. I know they're going to be a good team still, but I don't take them as serious. And the Ravens, I mean, they're going to be there. It's one of the two. They're going to fight each other, but I think ultimately the Browns are going to prevail. Yeah,
I think that the Ravens will end up winning it probably by like one game because of it. But you're right. And shout out to Baker Mayfield. He has proved every doubter wrong. Period. The dude has had 4 offensive coordinators and 4 head coaches in his career, and the dude had them 2 years in a row in the playoffs?
Yeah, what?
Had them in the playoffs 2 years in a row? Was it 2 years in a row? No, this last year. Last year, they made the playoffs. I mean, Baker Mayfield helped lead the Browns to the playoffs. Guys, we got to give this dude some respect at this aspect, right?
Well, I would give the coach more of the credit for that, since he realized that the strength of the team was in the power running game, because part of what that does is it takes some of the weight off the quarterback's shoulders. I think Baker can play more comfortably because he knows he can lean on the running game, and on the defensive side of the ball, he can lean on Myles Garrett in the defense. So I think that makes it a lot easier for him. So, I mean, he had a good season. He didn't throw for like 5,000 yards or anything like that, but he had a good season. He's more than a game manager, but he's not quite a superstar level quarterback. I mean, he does his job. He plays within the system. Accuracy has never been a problem for him. So I think that he and Stefanski, like you mentioned, quarterback coach, are just like this, just a really perfect match for what Stefanski wants to do, because he sees what is actually best for Baker. I mean, yeah, you could design an offense where Baker could throw for 4,500 yards, but would you be as good as you possibly could be? Probably not.
I mean, 11-5 last year with
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield going through all of those offensive coordinators
Yeah.
and coaches. I mean, go listen to Mike Greenberg talk about that. I had to give him mad props for that because he's right. Baker has overcome a lot. The good thing about him, though, is the players haven't really changed. So it's him, Landry, Chubb. They've been kind of growing together.
Yeah.
They just can't. Stefanski's probably the best thing that's ever happened to him. So
I agree.
I feel you on that. All right. We went longer on that one, but because the next one's not going to be that hard. NFC East, Buffalo Bills. There's AFC East, the Bills. There's no reason why the Bills don't win this, even though I do feel like Josh Allen's going to take one step back this year. I think he's going to take a step back this year, and he's going to go 2 steps forward or 3 steps forward the year after. Everyone's going to be focused on preparing for him more this year than any, because a lot of people are going to be going after him. So, because of that, the Bills are going to win the AFC East. There's nobody else that's going to be able to win it.
The Dolphins are. This is the year that they break through and win this division. Yes. Brian Flores is going to break this team through, and they are going to beat the Bills, who probably are feeling themselves a little bit too much just based on what they did last season. But Tua is going to be better than people think this year, I think. And even if that doesn't work, they're probably going to work out a deal to get Deshaun Watson, who's probably still going to be able to play because of where he's at with his legal and civil matters and all of that. But this Dolphins team, I think, is every bit as talented on defense as Buffalo. They have a better run game. Obviously, they don't have a Stephon Diggs, but their collection of receivers, when you add Jalen Waddle and Will Fuller, that speed to what they already had, and they have a Pro Bowl level tight end, I think that this team is going to win this division over the Bills. Barely, but they're going to win this division over the Bills.
Wow. So you have the Browns
I believe.
and you have the Dolphins.
Yes.
I would have never guessed the Fins on you. Okay. West. AFC West. Chiefs.
Yeah, rinse and repeat.
All right.
But do you think
I don't even want to talk about the others.
can any team push them in this division?
No.
No.
Not this year.
There you go. There's your preview. There's your AFC West preview.
Yeah,
right
AFC
there.
West. Chiefs. South. Now, this is the one that gets even more interesting because it's really not that interesting. Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
This is the bad part about the AFC is that it's literally the AFC North and everybody else as far as competition goes. The North has all the teams that'll be fighting each other, battling inside. And to me, when it comes to East, West, and South, you kind of I have it preordained who's going to be there. You decide to put the Dolphins in there and make it the East a little bit more competitive. But when it comes to West and South, I mean, it's the Titans. The Titans have the best roster in the South.
Yeah.
The Colts, they don't know who their quarterback is yet. I mean, I think Wentz is supposed to play week 1 now.
Yeah.
But I'm still concerned that he can't stay healthy. Houston is a dumpster fire. And then I forgot who else is there. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I didn't forget. It's the Jaguars. I know who they are. But it's the Jaguars. We forgot about the Jags.
The Jags probably are going to be the most entertaining team out of this division.
They got the number 1 draft pick. I am very intrigued on what Trevor Lawrence can do in a situation where he's not supposed to win.
There's some people that are actually picking the Jags to go to the playoffs.
Yes, I've seen that, and I think that's hilarious. But I think it's awesome that people actually have that type of Yeah, optimism.
Yeah.
We'll go with that word.
We'll go with that.
We'll do that. We're not going to call them what I think it is, but we'll go with optimism.
Yeah.
So
it's Titans.
Ratings as far as the playoff seeding. I've got the Chiefs as the number 1 seed. The Ravens will follow behind at number 2. The Bills will be the 3rd seed, and then the Titans will take the 4th seed. My 5 is the Cleveland Browns. They will make the playoffs again. Like I said, I am high on Baker Mayfield. The difference between the Ravens and the Browns will be 1 game. I think it's going to be a very close division. Because of that, the Chargers are going to make the playoffs, in my personal opinion. I feel like they are ready to make one big leap.
Wow.
I love Justin Herbert, and I feel like
too.
his calm personality will be good for him to finally go into hostile environments. Because remember, none of the rookie quarterbacks last year had to deal with hostile environments because there was no fans in the stadiums.
And they get Derwin James back, top 3, top 4 safety in the league, who I wanted in our draft last night and could not get. Well, actually, no, I picked somebody else over him, but he was my second choice if that guy hadn't been there. So,
you're welcome.
I love Derwin James.
Yep. And then lastly, this one will be your shocker. Now, this one has a good chance of not happening, but at the same time, I think this is going to play back historically that we've seen before. I think the 7th seed is going to be the Denver Broncos. They have a quarterback that does a really good job of not losing games, and they have a top 5 defense.
Wait a minute. when we talked about the AFC West, we said that there were no other teams even worth mentioning in this. And I know we were just talking about the division winner, but if you have the Chargers and the Broncos in the playoffs, couldn't you at least say that they're going to push the Chiefs just a little bit to make it interesting?
They're not. They're going to lose both games to the Chiefs. There's not going to be. Now, I think the Broncos may actually steal one, but honestly, I think they're going to lose both games to the Chiefs.
Yeah. And, usually each year, what's interesting about that and what makes me think that you're onto something is that the Chargers and the Broncos do push them whenever they play them. Like, since Mahomes has been the quarterback, just for some reason, the Broncos and the Chargers push them.
Divisional. They know each other.
Yeah. It's something more than that. It's just.
Well, you're probably right. It could be because
when Justin Herbert got in last year, when that unfortunate medical incident happened with Tyrod Taylor, it was against the Chiefs,
and it was a good game.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Hell, the Raiders beat them. The Raiders won a game. The Raiders were able to push the Chiefs
convincingly.
Convincingly, yeah. So I get you on that, but I don't think that either of them really going to push the Chiefs as far as taking the division away. But I do think that they'll be the division that will have 3 teams in there. I
like that.
I am sold on the Broncos defensively.
I like that.
Led by Von Miller. I think they're going to be even better. And then, like I said, Teddy Bridgewater is really good at not losing games. And that's all you need. It's basically Peyton Manning when he was noodle arm. That's what I feel like this team is. I feel like this defense is almost with Patrick Surtain, the second out there too. Nasty. That's the reason why I'm picking the Broncos to make the playoffs this year.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. I too have a division with 3 playoff teams in the AFC, but not who you think. All right, so my playoff seeding actually is similar to yours. I have the Chiefs at 1. I have the Browns instead of the Ravens at 2. Dolphins instead of the Bills at 3. And I've got the Titans at 4. Wildcard teams, I've got the Ravens, who are going to make it in.
Of course.
It's still, of course, a solid team. Bills, they're going to be back as well. They're a for-real team.
Yep.
And last team in the AFC to make the playoffs, the New England Patriots. Led by Mac and Cheese Jones, is going to make the playoffs this year, giving the AFC East 3 teams in the AFC playoffs.
You think?
I do.
You think that the AFC East is going to have 3 teams?
Yes.
Because I am impressed.
Yeah. But with the Pats, that's probably the most surprising pick. People focus too much on Mac Jones, and they forget all of those opt-ins that New England's going to get back on defense. In addition to the 2 tight ends they have a stable of running backs. Behind Damian Harris, you have Ramondre Stevenson, who was a beast in the preseason, and just decent receivers. New England never has, outside of Randy Moss, whatever, they never really have big-time receivers who can really break the game open, even though they spent money in free agency on receiver. Just some odd choices, Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne from San Francisco, but, whatever. The open guy is going to be the star receiver in this league because that's how I talk about the accuracy with Mac Jones.
That's a good point.
His best trait. Yeah.
So I
think that they're going to surprise a lot of people. And I think Belichick needs this. This is, I won't say is as legacy defining as winning 6 Super Bowls, obviously, but the narrative post 6 Super Bowls that you can't do anything without Tom Brady, who was the real Patriots way. He's got a little something more in this, Bill Belichick. So he can't afford to not make the playoffs. So the Pats are going to be your last team in.
Wow, you actually have the Patriots. That's fascinating that you actually have the Patriots.
I do.
Wow.
I'm a believer. Like I said, people focus way too much on Mac Jones, and you forget who the coach is, and you forget all those veterans on both sides of the ball, and the fact that the Patriots do not beat themselves.
Okay, so your 2 teams in for the AFC are the Patriots and the Dolphins.
The Dolphins barely missed last year. Yep, Pats and Dolphins. So out. Steelers and Colts, you're out.
Yeah, I think that I'm with you there. And as much as I like, it is funny we have the exact same teams in. I as much as I like, this is the thing about the Steelers, and I'm gonna give them props on this portion of it is they will have a winning record. Mike Tomlin will keep the streak going. He's never had a losing record in his coaching career.
Yes.
He will keep that streak going. So I'm impressed that Tomlin is able to do that. So shout out to my mans for being able to do that because
the standard is a standard.
Oh my God. That's impressive to come in and coach a team because he's been there at least 11 years.
Yes.
And he has not had a losing record. Shout out to that man there.
Mm-hmm. It's a good coach. Real good coach.
So next up, we're going to talk about conference championships, Super Bowl, and awards.